The New York Times put out its list of the 100 greatest films of the 21st century, but we're not going to watch 100, we're going to watch the top 30. So join us on this journey as we watch 30 films in 30 days. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Cinematic Trinity and our series where we're watching 30 films in 30 days. And this time we are talking about City of God, the film that follows kind of the gang culture inside Rio de Janeiro, or its City of God. It follows Rocket, an aspiring photographer, and also Little Zay, who is an aspiring gangster, and how their two stories kind of intersect and weave between each other. And Kieran, this film is actually quite close to your heart, as I understood.
So I first heard about this film 9 years ago in my college because my tutor named Lee, who is, for all intents and purposes, an absolute legend.
I hope he's watching.
It is a he. He said that this was one of his favourite films, and I couldn't remember exactly why he said it was one of his favourite films, but it's one I've wanted to watch for the longest time. So I was really glad that when we got to this 30 films in 30 days, and we agreed that we were all going to do it, that this was on the list, because it was the only film that I'm super really massively keen to watch. Like obviously all the rest of them, I'd like to watch them and experience that, but this is I really want to watch that. And watching it, I thought it was a really good film.
Yeah,
I was really happy that it wasn't terrible. Because if it had been terrible, that would have just crushed my soul.
Yeah.
Why would you do this to me, Lee? Why would you betray me like this?
But yeah, I think it's very complex and deep, but also kind of it touches on very dark themes, but it's also very light-hearted at times, and there's a lot going on in the film.
Yeah.
And I really like the fact that it comes full circle at the end, and just everything like that. It's just a very well told story.
It's such a compact film, isn't it? I think we saw how we had an hour left, and the amount of backstory and characters it done by that point, I was like, oh my god, what a well told story. Because it literally goes around time periods, it follows, it's kind of chronological, but like you say, there's a few, it comes full circle at the end to the present day. But yeah, really well told. Just the things it's exploring is really interesting, because it's just a side of a culture you don't see very often. And Tulip, what did you think about this being another foreign language film full of subtitles?
Such a slog, innit? That's how it feels like. Honestly, I can't tell you how draining it is. All I do is bang on about these subtitles, and there's 5 more films which have got subtitles in. But anyway, what did I think of this film? I don't know what I think of this film. I agree with everything that you've just said. I think that the way that it's filmed is really great. I think that it's got a really great story. I think it is really interesting, and you really feel not the pain, but you can feel how awful the situation is, and the way that they're living, and just how awful that is. And I think it does a really good job of showing that is their normality, that is their lives, that is the kind of world that they are living in, and these are the consequences from it, that there's a lot of gang culture because there's no work and blah, 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 blah. It does a really good job of showing that. I found it quite depressing. I found it quite... And normally I'm okay with films like that are a bit depressing, but I just found it really harrowing and a bit weird. I certainly didn't get any enjoyment out of it, but I don't expect to get any enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know whether it was my favourite. I think that, it was good on paper, but I left it thinking I don't really know what I thought of it.
Yeah.
I can't quite put my finger on it. Not to spoil the illusion, but we did watch this a few days ago, and I have completely forgotten that we even watched it. It's not left a lasting impression on me, like maybe some of the other films have, even leaving a lasting impression because it was so awful. This has left no impression on me, which is sad, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about that.
Oh dear. Sorry, Lee. Just ignore what she said, all right?
Yeah.
Listen to her.
I'm just a stupid woman.
Kieran's the only opinion that should matter to you, all right? But yeah, I think, like, I will give a shout out to Little Zay as like the villain. I think
Little Zay.
That's his name.
Little
Lil Zay. Yeah,
Little Wayne. Like, you wouldn't say that, would you?
But for watching it, I was kind of like, is this one of like the best movie villains like I've seen? Because he is like so intimidating, and like he has like, obviously his whole goal is like power, just becoming like the top gangster in City of God. But like just the routes he goes down, like he is just downright like evil, like again some of the stuff he does, and that's what leads again to what like Tulip said about some of it being like hard to watch, like just some of the lengths he goes to kind of assert his control.
He's very scary.
He's
very scary.
And he's also like, he can be funny as well. It's like he has a weird charm to him, like as well, at points. But like because he's also like, he's evil. He's good at what he does. He's good at killing people. He's good at being a gangster. But when it comes to like chatting to like women, he's just like wooden and being like, he can't do anything naturally. Whereas like Benny, who's his like right hand man, is like the good counterpoint to him, and they have a good like friendship. Yeah, and that's like the best thing about him is Benny brings out the best side of him, sort of thing. But what do you think about Little Zay?
Little Zay. Little Dice, formerly known as Little Dice. He's very, very imposing whenever he's on screen, and I do like those bits, like you say, when they were in the club and he's trying to talk to girls and he's like, doesn't know what he's doing. And then you get the stark contrast of Benny, who's like, very smart in his own way, but is much more of like a people person. Like he's been running the kind of, keeping everything afloat in terms of like the relationships with the other, like I think is it Carrot is the other,
but like gang members,
the other gang leader in the
yeah.
City of God, and he keeps things from like sparking to an all-out war. So Benny's very much like his kind of anchor. Keeps him from being the darker side of Lil Zay, and then whatever happens from there. But I think it's very interesting to see, like, there's a lot of the City of God, and like this kind of culture can corrupt even like the best people. But then you do have kind of like a light through it, where you have like Rocket, the main character. Just a small spoiler, like he does have a little stint where he's like, oh well, we can't get any work anywhere, so we're just going to have to turn to crime. And then he meets a character who's like, this really like, from his neighborhood. And he's like, oh, you're so cool. Oh, like, amazing for you to do it. And then he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do crime. And then like you see him go on a different path, and it's like, yes, there's so much darkness within this place, but there's also kind of a light that can come from, it's not all bad kind of thing.
And it's a really cool like exploration, like the cyclical nature of like gang warfare. It's kind of like you rise up through the ranks, you get taken out, a new person rises up through that's like, it's just all over the film, and it's like so interesting to like watch, especially when you get to like the ending and how it like ends, and you're like, oh, it starts again sort of thing. Not to like spoil too much, but like it's just such a cool, again, just because you don't really see it like in this country or like in the kind of British films we see about it. Obviously this is like the themes are there, but like seeing it in this like third world country sort of thing, like it's very interesting, and like leads to some very harsh scenes. What did do you have what the New York Times say about it?
I do, but I also was just trying to remind myself what I thought of this film by reading back what I said on TikTok. And what I said on TikTok was, and it's coming back to me now, it's like a Guy Ritchie film.
Yes.
Because of the way that it's shot, and sometimes there's like a split screen, and there's funny little quips that they're saying, and it's like broken up, and it'll flash on the screen like such and such, whatever. And it felt very like that. So that was my one contribution, because I'd completely forgotten every single thing. But the New York Times, now this really confused me when I read this. What I'm about to say isn't a spoiler at all, I don't think. And it says, a teenager forces a younger teenager to kill an even younger child. The victim cowers inside a fence nearby, sobs another child. And it's all about this scene. But really, in the grand scheme of it, I mean, it's an awful, awful scene. But that's not the story. So I thought that was going to be the story. I thought it was going to be somebody's forced to kill this child, and then it's like the downfall of that and how they escape justice or how they try and whatever. So that really confused me. And when I was watching it, I was like, what's going to happen? Like, all I was thinking was, who's going to be the one that's going to kill this kid? Like, it was really like confusing me.
Right.
But my favourite person, Chiwetel Ejiofor. No. I don't know why he's my favourite person. I just love his name.
Because he's not Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, I did, literally. He said the first time watching, you felt the heat, you felt the sweat on your back, you felt the pressure, you felt the streets. There are so few films that drop you right in the middle of an environment with such precision. And I do think that is accurate. It really does, it does feel like you're there and you're living it. And I think that's why I found it so hard to watch, because it just felt so real. It was like it was just really happy. And part of it is a true story, isn't it? Not all of it. You know, it's loosely kind of fabricated. And, you know, there was a book originally. It's all coming back to me now. There was a book originally which was kind of, you know, based on this story. But at the very end, they do show some, real footage of newsreels and stuff like that of the kind of gang that was forming, because the gang is real. Some of the stuff that was happening around it wasn't, you know, obviously with the film, it's never they said this exact line and blah blah blah, but it is kind of loosely based around it, so it feels very grounded and very natural in terms of the conversations that they're having and the things that would be happening. It's not like this is the main character, so of course they're going to survive. You know, anything can happen, and you feel that when you're watching it. It feels very hard, and it feels very draining. Yeah.
Well, let's start with you, Tulip. What would you score it?
Let me just double check so that I am being
consult
consistent.
The memory banks.
A 7.
Okay.
I gave this film a 7, and I think when I give films a 7, I explain this on my TikTok. It means that on paper, it's perfect. Like, everything about it is perfect, but those last 3 points are like my enjoyment level, you know, which is probably silly, but I don't care. So it's a 7. It's perfect, but it's not for me.
Yeah. Okay. What would you go for?
So I've got a similar thing, except instead of the last 3 points being enjoyment, I've just got like a new scale that I'm working off, which is currently in my head. So a 10.
Can't have another scale.
It works off 1 to 10, so it's okay. I can still conform with this farcical rating system. A 10 is like one of my favourite films of all time, regardless of how good it is or anything like that. If it's one of my favourite films, it's a 10.
Yeah.
A 9 is like an incredibly good film. Like, I can't fault anything about it. It's just not one of my favourite films. Yeah. This is a 9.5 because I'm not sure.
No. I went for a 9. I didn't think
that. When did this happen that you even cared about anything? Because you just
what?
You say that every single. I mean, look at me. I can talk, but I own it. You say that every single film is boring and you can't get into it, and it's a slog and it's draining and it's long. I cannot believe that you think that this film is a 9. I actually can't believe it.
Because it didn't take ages to get going. It kind of kicks you right into it. So I don't think there's anything to overcome. And like I say, the story's good, the characters are good, the setting's good. Like, it's just such a good story. And like, by the end of it, I was like, yeah, that was really, really good. And like, especially for like a foreign language film as well, like there is that hurdle of you are trying to like understand this other culture, this other language, and you're trying to keep up with it whilst also like enjoying like the actual look of the film. And I think it worked really well. Like, again, it just maybe again, like Kieran says, it's not one of my favourite films of all time. I could probably watch it again, definitely, but I wouldn't put it in like my Letterboxd top 4 or anything like that. So, like,
yeah.
You know, it's not among some of my favourite like films, which will, like, one of the upcoming ones will be one of my favourite films of all time. But I just think it's a very, very solid, very enjoyable film, and like, you know, it's something a bit different and makes you it makes you think, and like coming away from it and being like, I like the gang culture, I like all this stuff, like. It's always good when a film makes you feel that way, like, oh, I really liked how it depicted this, rather than like, that was a good time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not every film needs to be like a good, like, sometimes when a film makes you think, like Her.
Do you know what I'd actually rather do? If there's a book, I think I'd genuinely rather read the book.
Well then, yeah, there you go. Follow for Tulip's book review when we do a comparison video in 5 years' time.
You've got to read the book, but then me and Michael will be acting out scenes, so you instead of subtitles.
Oh god.
No, because then I won't be. Oh no, Michael, what was the quote on the IT crowd? If we made this joke already, if we talked about this already,
no.
Me and Michael were watching the IT crowd the other day, and it was it's the episode where Jen is the new like entertainment's manager or something, and all the men come and she's supposed to, you know, take them out for entertainment, and she says, "Oh, I thought that we'd go to see a show." "Oh, it's not one of those shows with subtitles, is it?" And this one man says, what does he say?
I can't read while I'm also trying to see things.
Or something like that. And I was like, oh my god, it's me. But I can't do it. I just can't. My brain, I can't handle it. It really, honestly, every single film that's got subtitles, it really, really drains my enjoyment, and it mentally drains me to watch something with subtitles. It really, I can't even express to you. I'm going to shut up about it now, but it really does. I find it very draining.
I suppose it's very natural for me because I've watched a lot of stuff with subtitles. So I don't have that hurdle as such. With like kind of the enjoyment of these films, but I do think that like if you were to take this film and then like, you know, kind of take out the subtitles and then have it in like an English dub, it would just lose a lot of the character that it has.
Well, yeah, so I certainly don't want to watch an English dub version of it. I know that would ruin it, and it does for every single film. Of course it does.
But yeah, so
there's our what feels like by episode like subtitle rants that we have every time we talk. Nearly every single time we talk about foreign language show. I bet your mum and dad are gonna love this section.
Just cut it out.
We'll do a quick yes or no thing. Is it one of the greatest films of the 21st century?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
Ask me again later.
I'll say yes as well. There you have it, guys. That was The City of God. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. What did you think of the film? Have you seen it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next episode.